Hello there, welcome back to the Agostino Zinga Show with your host, Agostino Zinga, and this is episode number 958. That is 958 of the Agostino Zinga Show, coming at you live and direct from an undisclosed location, somewhere in the depths of East London. How you doing? How you feeling? How you doing? How are you feeling? Great, amazing, good to hear. Great, amazing, good to hear. I'm feeling kind of mighty fine, mighty dandy. I've just been confirmed. It's just been confirmed vis-a-vis my email. I just got a nice bit of a confirmation regarding some tickets I applied for a little talk. There's a little talk happening in Coco's actually tomorrow, featuring Sven Var, one of my favorites. Sven Var is going to be sitting down, having a little chat with somebody that I want to pull up on here. And I'm really happy that I've got that confirmed that I'm going to go. I did apply for some tickets, wasn't sure if I was going to get them, but now it's been confirmed that I'm going. It is for The End 30 Years, The End 30 Years. The End 30 Years panel talk with Richie Houghton, happening tomorrow from, was that from 8 p.m? No, 6 p.m, sorry. I'm really looking forward to that. That should be fucking cool. Seeing Richie Houghton talk about all things electronic music. I'm really flipping looking forward to that one. I'm really looking forward to that one. There's a whole host of other talks as well taking place. I'm not too familiar. I think it's called The End, right? The End 30 Years. Let's see what else is going on. But I've got 2 tickets for tomorrow, which I'm really fucking happy about. I'm not going to lie. I'm really happy about. So tomorrow is 30 Years of The End with Music Magazine. And Music Magazine, sorry, with Richie Houghton. It's going to be Richie Houghton, Leo Bushwhacker, Acid, what's the whole event called? What's the synopsis we got here? 30 Years at the End. This October, The End returns for a full weekend takeover of the theatre. A powerful reunion of one of London's most iconic clubbing legacies, kicking off the weekend in style. Boundary pushing techno visionary and long-time End affiliate Richie Houghton leads the charge with a rare club set. He's joined by legendary Leo and Bushwhacker. So that's for the event, innit? I'm going for the fucking talk. Do they have the talk on here? Let's see if they have the talk on here. Okay, they don't have the talk on here. Maybe it's not meant to be on here. But either way, I cannot wait to go to it tomorrow. I used to go to a lot of these kind of like panel discussions things, but I stopped going after a while. But I want to put my face out there more and be more present and just kind of, you know, take part in some of these activities, some of these community events. They're quite cool. You learn quite a bit. I'm not gonna lie. And usually a lot of these things aren't filmed anyway, because sometimes I just rely on people filming them, but some of these things aren't filmed. So if you don't go, you're very unlikely to see whatever's going on there. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to the football coming back. Honestly, international week is boring. I've not watched a single game. Well, I think there's a game on tonight, right? I think England are playing tonight. I'm pretty sure England are playing tonight. I'm recording the show. No, maybe tomorrow, actually. I'm recording on Thursday, the 9th of October, around 6:55 a.m. No, actually, they are playing tonight. England are playing tonight. And I have no idea. Against Wales, of all people, actually. That'll actually be a pretty decent game. I should probably watch that. That should probably be a decent game. I should probably watch that, which I probably might do later on. But again, not something I'm running to. Not something I'm really that bothered about in all the way encompassing. But anyway, that aside, we have some cultural commentary news we have to get through today. Loads of really crazy things have happened in the last couple of days since I've last been podcasting. So sit back, relax, get yourself a drink wherever you may be, and let's just dive on into it. First thing to talk about that's just broken on the internet, just broke. News just broke. Fresh news is regarding former Radio 1 DJ and UK music, UK scene, legend really. DJ Tim Westwood charged with 4 counts of rape. 4. Not 1, not 2, not 3. 4 counts of rape. Absolutely crazy, bro. The wild thing is that I'm pretty sure most of you, if you're from the UK, maybe even if you're not from the UK, you've probably heard of the rumors around Tim Westwood and his penchant for like younger girls, and the fact that for a long time in his history, for a long time as part of his whatever legend, he was known as the guy that would go and perform at freshers, or he performed at colleges, sixth forms and stuff. He was known as being that guy. He toured all around the UK, performing at different unis, And people would always say, yeah, when this guy came through to my university, he was all over the first years, all over the young things, like he was going crazy for them. And, awful to hear because the guy is, he's been old my entire life, so you can only imagine how old he was back then, and people would be kind of creeped out about it. So you'd kind of hear about these rumors about him all the time, and obviously you'd also hear rumors about him being a little bit forward, not taking no for an answer, and just generally being a bit of a cunt. But it never really stuck. It never really stuck until maybe, I'm gonna say about 5 years ago. I felt like the rumors and the murmurs around him started to really build up. People started to get really vocal about what the stuff that he was allegedly doing, and then suddenly he got kicked off Radio 1, which I'm not too sure if that had anything to do with the girls. If I'm not mistaken, the Radio 1 thing may have something to do with the crib sessions. I'm not going to say it had anything to do with girls. I'm going to say it might have something with the crib sessions at the time when, UK drill was coming up and he was recording a bunch of stuff in his crib. And a lot of the lyrics that were used in those particular crib sessions were maybe disses at people and ops that died and apartment police investigation. I think it has something to do with that. I'm pretty sure it's something to do with all that sort of stuff. But either way, it felt like the BBC were, convenient excuse, convenient reason to kind of kick him off. And since then, it's been a downward spiral. But he also had like a second life, I felt like. As of late, he had a second life or a second wind, where he was touring parts of Africa. I remember seeing a report somewhere that he was popping up doing sets in Nigeria and other places as well. So, he's disappeared from like mainstream UK media for the most part. I don't really see him anywhere. He doesn't get interviewed on any platform. He doesn't usually play anywhere. I've not really seen him on big parties here from what I know of on lineups. So it does seem like he probably was made aware that there was an active investigation on and around him, or maybe people in the industry were aware that there was an active investigation around him and they were kind of just like put off from booking him or trying to get close to him because it's bad for business. Well, now I guess it's all come to a head. So it's taken a long time. It's taken a fucking long time. And again, if you needed another example, I'm sure you don't. But if you needed another example as to why some women are so hesitant to talk about or to even report acts of sexual violence, harassment, rape, whatever it may be, it's because of stuff like this. This has been one of the worst kept secrets in the UK, and it's taken 5+ years for him to get charged. 5+ years it's taken for him to get charged, and there's probably loads of people across the UK who've probably got accounts, first hand, second hand, third hand of what's happened with him and some girls. But it's taken 5+ years for this to get anywhere. It's pretty crazy, man. Let's read the article anyway, courtesy of the BBC. It says as follows: ex-BBC Radio 1 DJ and former Capital Extra DJ Tim Westwood has been charged with 4 counts of rape, the Metropolitan Police have said. He's 68. Jesus Christ, he's been old for time, innit? So back then he was probably like 40 or something, 50. Fucking hell, he's 68. The 68-year-old has been charged with 9 counts of indecent assault and 2 counts of sexual assault. The charges relate to 7 women, with the allegations spanning from 1983. He's been raping since 1983, before most people were born, to 2016. Westwood is due to appear in Westminster Magistrates Court on the 10th of November. The oldest of the charges relates to an alleged alleged indecent assault on a 17-year-old girl in the Fulham area of London in 1983. The oldest rape charge relates to an alleged attack on a female between the ages of 17 and 18 in London in 1995 and 1996. Westwood is also accused of raping a female between the ages of 17 and 18 in London between 2000 and 2001, raping a woman in her 20s in the same city in 2010. Jesus Christ, bro. Serial rapist. And these are only the things he's been charged with, by the way. These are only the ones he's been charged with. Maybe some they didn't have necessary evidence, they couldn't bring it to trial. Maybe some people haven't come forward, haven't been willing with evidence and stuff. These are only the ones that we know about. Fuck. The most recent charge relates to an alleged sexual assault of a woman in her 20s in the Finchley area of London. Lionel Iden, the chief crown prosecutor, said, "Our prosecutors have established that there is sufficient evidence to bring this case to trial and that it is in the public interest to pursue criminal proceedings. The Crown Prosecution Service reminds everyone that criminal proceedings are active and a defendant has a right to a fair trial. It is extremely important that there is no reporting, commentary or sharing of information online which in any way would prejudice the proceedings. Detective Superintendent Andy Furpey of the Metropolitan Police continued to appeal for further witnesses and said, "It takes courage to come forward and report allegations of this nature. Westwood is an early champion of UK hip-hop in the UK, hosted the first national broadcast rap show on the UK radio in 1994. Wow, I didn't realize it was 1994. Fucking hell. In 2022, the BBC News broadcast accusation by 18 women of predatory and unwanted sexual behaviour and touching by Tim Westwood in alleged incidents from 1992 to 2017. Westwood has denied claims of misconduct." Absolutely crazy, isn't it? The span of the allegations, the span of the charges is the scariest part for me. From 1983 to what, 2016 or something, right? 1983 to 2016. God almighty. Absolutely insane. And again, most likely this is an open secret. I bet you, because I'm not super plugged into the UK music scene, but I bet you if you're really plugged into the UK music scene behind the scenes, you know all the A&Rs, you know the managers, you know the labels, you know the venue people, you know the booking people, you know the people that work, just maintenance and on the rigs and makeup. I bet you it's an open secret. I bet you they got way more stories than this. I bet it gets dark. But unfortunately with these type of events, because this happened so long ago, I can completely understand why a woman would be very hesitant to come forward. If this happened to you like in the 90s or in the early 2000s and you're just about getting over it now, you've been in therapy, you know what I mean, you've done all the self-work that you can do to get over it, I would completely understand why you wouldn't want to open that door again. Even if it means putting someone like this behind bars, you just don't want to do it. You'd rather just kind of go it out and just keep living your life because it was too hurtful to kind of revisit, which I completely understand. But again, it kind of robs that, well, not robs, but it denies that person getting the justice. It denies the other victims getting justice, and it obviously denies that person getting the fucking punishment they properly deserve, because this is a sick dude. Like I said, the only thing that I heard about from him was that he was known to be the guy that was, about trying to smash girls like freshers, you know what I mean? Like girls that come freshly from fucking freshly from college, sixth form and stuff, first year in university. He'd be all over them at fucking student raves, allegedly, at freshers parties. Which, again, I wonder if they kind of stopped because of him as well. Because I feel like freshers parties aren't a thing anymore. Freshers parties used to be, or fresher raves, or indeed freshers week, they used to be a big part of UK music industry. Like, a lot of people would make a lot of money that way. A lot of artists would get a lot of popularity that way, would spread, would be able to market yourself and gain a new audience, a new fan base if you traveled around the UK. But I wonder if it's to do with him or just more to do with the police having really draconian laws around what you can perform and can't perform, Because a lot of rap music nowadays, especially in the UK, you can't even perform it in live venues, especially in London. If you want to perform rap music in London, you need special licenses and shit. It's so fucking difficult. So it kind of denies people the opportunity to do so. But it's kind of a shame that Westwood has completely tainted that whole freshers thing, because all people can remember now is that, of his fucking creepy, weirdo fucking self. So I'll be curious to see how the trial plays out. I would assume it'll be a slam dunk. I'm not going to lie. It feels like it'll be a slam dunk because I feel like I've heard stuff about Westwood since I was in sixth form. So I can't imagine what's been going on lately. So I'm sure most likely this will be a slam dunk case. And there's loads of evidence there about him. And even if it's not a slam dunk case, his reputation's in tatters. He hasn't been the same ever since his reputation became public in the mainstream. The last 5 years or so, he's been languishing, away in the dark, in the shadows. I do remember there was a clip actually of him recently, maybe couple of years ago, maybe somebody kind of ran up on him on the street somewhere and was saying some mean things to him, and he didn't look too happy. I think someone saw him walking down the street and calling him a nonce or something. I think so. But yeah, man, I'm curious to see how this develops. But yeah, Westwood has been charged with 4 counts of rape. Here's the official press release for the Metropolitan Police, which they're doing this a lot, I think. Not too sure what this strategy is about, but the Met Police have their own website, which is met.police.uk, and they have a little press and news section where they publish some articles about people that get. I'm not sure what you have to do to get on this site, but it feels like they're trying to be transparent, I guess, maybe, I don't know. But here's another article that kind of speaks about the same thing. Via the Met Police, it says Tim Westwood charged by the Metropolitan Police. The Crown Prosecution Service has authorized Metropolitan Police to charge the man following an investigation by detectives. Tim Westwood, 68, born the 3rd of October 1957. So he's been charged just a few days after his birthday. Peak. Born 1957 of Westminster, has been charged with the following offences: 4 counts of rape, 9 counts of indecent assault, and 2 counts of sexual assault. The details of the offences to which Tim Westwood has been charged are as follows. 1983, a 17-year-old girl was indecently assaulted in Fulham. 1986, a woman in her 20s was indecently assaulted in Vauxhall. Between 1995 and 1996, a female between the ages of 17 and 18 was raped in London. It's also alleged that the same woman was indecently assaulted in central London. Between 2000 and 2001, a female between the age of 17 and 18 was raped and indecently assaulted. 2010, a woman in her 20s was raped in London. 2010, a woman in her 20s was sexually assaulted in Stroud. And in 2016, a woman in her 20s was sexually assaulted in the Finchley area of London. These charges relate to 7 different women. Jesus Christ. So far, there's 7 different women who are willing to give evidence, testify against them in the court of law. 7. Fucking hell. This guy, bro. Bury him under the prison, man. Bury him within the prison walls. Honestly, bury him within the fucking prison walls. Mamma mia. Detective Superintendent Andy Furpy, Metropolitan Police, it takes courage, comfort. Yeah, we read it already. Tim Westwood would appear at the West Managers Court on Monday, the 10th of November. Any information can be passed to detectives by emailing cit@met.police.uk or by calling 101 and quoting 4672/09 of October 25. Fuck. Crazy, bro. 7. Yeah, exactly. Big up Donald Dump. Exactly. No one rates 7 women only. Tim wants to touch my bum. Yeah, big up Stoic Savage. I don't know if that's true or not, but if that is true, I'm sorry for you, brother. But yeah, crazy. Big up Mrs. Mace as well. Big up Case of Moses too. Fucking crazy. But it's the end. We're witnessing the end in real time of Tim Westwood. We're witnessing the end of Tim Westwood in the hope. And what you'd hope would happen with these type of things, as per usual, is that you would hope, because these big people are being prosecuted the way they're being prosecuted, right? These icons, these legends, these names. You would hope what would happen is that this would scare the other people who are probably doing the same thing right now into good behavior. It would make them worried. It would make them scared. It would make them frightened so they wouldn't continue hurting people. That's what you'd hope would happen. But unfortunately, industries like the music industry, entertainment industry, is just ripe with people like Tim Westwood, you know? There's plenty of them out there just doing a fucking madness, exploiting people, taking advantage of people, and just generally being evil, creepy fucking son of a gun. So it's really, really horrible. But big up to the victims that came forward and are putting, you know, are gonna have their day in court, and they're gonna make sure that Tim Westwood face justice for all the fucked up shit that he's done over the years, for the fucked up shit that he's done allegedly over the years. Moving on, let's quickly change tacks here. So the Pharrell and Adidas Adistar Jellyfishes are coming out, right, in a couple of days. The green ones, which everybody is super hyped for. The ones right there, those green ones there are the ones coming out. And I've been wondering, I've been seeing a lot of hype for these on the socials, on my feed. People are really excited for these jellyfish Adidas that Pharrell did and shit, and they're really hyped for them. They can't wait for them to drop. But I'm wondering, like, why isn't there a conversation around these essentially just being a rip-off of the Balenciaga Triple S's? Why is no one talking about that? Why is no one talking about these just being a complete rip-off of the Balenciaga Triple S's first introduced in Demna's seminal collection for Balenciaga Fall 2017? Fall 2017, it feels like fucking ages ago. Demna decided to introduce us to the Balenciaga Triple S and these boots as well, by the way. These motorcycle boots are very underrated and a grail. I think if you're a Demna Balenciaga head, you'll definitely know that these are on your grail. But he first introduced us to this silhouette, which is the Triple S, right? And at the time the Triple S came out back then, I would say they were much revered. They obviously were super popular, but people had a lot of negative things to say about Triple S's. I had one of the first pairs that were made. Mine were actually the made in fucking Italy ones as well. They didn't. I think after the first round of Triple S's, they started to make them in China, if I'm not mistaken, or after that season. But I had the first ones that were made in Italy, and they were so uncomfortable. They had no flex, no bounce. they legitimately felt like he had stuck together 3 pairs of different shoes, right? Hence the name Triple S's. But they didn't feel comfortable whatsoever. What I remember really funny about them, actually, big up the person who said that, actually. This one guy, I don't know if he's still around, actually. There was this one Chinese guy, actually, big up him, who used to kind of watch my channel back in the day. And I remember him kind of like asking me about whether or not they were good for running. Because if I remember correctly, did I see him somewhere? I may have seen him somewhere in my area, or maybe he showed me a video of him training in some designer shoes. But it was this really funny Chinese dude who was into his designer, who would just wear, like, you know, he'd wear fucking Y3 shoes to the gym. He'd wear fucking, I don't know, back then what the shoes were, Yeezys, whatever. He'd wear some expensive training shoe in the gym. And I remember him asking me back in the day, hey, are the Triple S's comfortable? Can you train in them? And I was like, no, you definitely cannot. But the funny thing is, nowadays when I go to a gym, the amount of people that I see in like maximalist, like super thick midsole shoes is crazy. Before that was never the thing. Everyone was trying to wear as thin a shoe as possible. You see people in like Converses and Blazers. Now I'm seeing so many people wearing super thick shoes, similar to what I have, like the Hoka, you know, 1-1s or Una, whatever you fucking call them. And I've seen a bunch of people wearing them. And now, obviously, the whole thick shoe thing, the whole thicky shoe has become super trendy, super normal. No one kind of bats an eyelid anymore at these shoes. But anyway, going back to the Jellyfishes, I'm wondering, are people not really giving them the props or calling out Pharrell for copying the Triple S's? Because basically everyone doesn't want to wear Balenciaga anymore because of what went down with the whole, like, you know, alleged PDF thing, that photo shoot. Is that what people are doing? Because I feel like nobody is saying the obvious, that the Jellyfishes are obviously a copy of the fucking Balenciaga Triple S. It's pretty clear, in my opinion, that that's just a flip of the Balenciaga Triple S's. In obviously, maybe these will be far more comfortable because they're made by like a sportswear brand, and they're obviously, by the looks of it, they're probably going to feel a lot lighter than what they look like. But, and probably the clues in the name of the shoe, Jellyfish and shit, right? You'd imagine it's probably going to be deceptively light for what they look like. But they're still, in my humble opinion, a direct rip-off of the Balenciaga Triple S's that originally introduced in 2017. But no one seems to want to give them his props. And I don't really understand why. One of my favorite colorways, obviously, was this particular one here. Kind of look a little bit like Lego with the yellow and the green. And there's another colorway here. There's an all-white colorway too that was kind of hard. I ain't gonna front on you, right? There's an all-white colorway that was super hard. And then there was another one as well. What's the other colorway? There was a gray. Yeah, that's the one I had. Those are mine. Those black, the bread ones. Those bread ones were just unbelievable. Such a good colorway. I love the little addition of the size label, right? Of the size number on the toe box there in European sizes was fucking brilliant. I got mine in the 44, which is obviously too small for me. I should have got them in the 45, but they ended up dying on me because during the pandemic I left them in the box and I forgot to put like a gel pack in the box, and when I pull them out, I think that night I was going out raving or something, I put my foot in them and I just kept noticing loads of dust behind me. I was like, what's all this dust? Looked down my shoes, I was like, no. The whole midsole, the whole fucking midsole, the PU, oh shit, was all breaking. I was like, this can't be live. This can't be live. But yeah, there we go, man. It just put me down on my ass, innit? It put me down on my ass. But I don't know. Demna deserves his props for these. He really does. He did his ting on the fucking Balenciaga Triple S's. But I'm wondering if people are protesting or silently not saying anything because they want to wear the Adidas ones guilt-free. I wonder because they don't want to be associated with the madness that Demna may or may not have been involved in. But these are really popular. I've seen a lot of people talking about them. I think they're like $300 too. They're not cheap. I think they're like $275. So Pharrell's not giving anything away out here, man. Pharrell's not giving anything away out here. This is courtesy of Over and Under. Big up my guy Over and Under. It says Pharrell Adidas Jellyfish, white and green, glowing. They glow in the dark, by the way. I didn't know that. They're gonna be available for $300 from what, Saturday, I guess. And they glow in the dark. That's fucking sick. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. That is really fucking sick. I think he killed them with these. Maybe his best footwear design he's done in a while, in my humble opinion. He absolutely killed it on those ones. So these are pretty decent. And then we've got, okay, it's the same pair again in the same sort of color. But yeah, decent shoe. I'm curious to see what they're going to do. Sell out numbers wise, though. I think people are going to be super into them when they do eventually end up dropping. If I had to get a pair, I'd probably try and get the flipping greens, of course, and definitely the blacks. That black colorway has got me written all over it, you know, this black color right there. But Jesus Christ, it's so nice. It really is nice. So big up Adidas for doing that. Big up fucking Adidas for doing that. Continuing on, let's talk a little bit about what Ruben Amorim, or what Sir Jim Ratcliffe said about Ruben Amorim. Sir Jim Ratcliffe gave an interview recently that's kind of upsetting a lot of United fans, because he said out of his own mouth that he's going to give Ruben Amorim 3 more years to prove himself as a coach. And a lot of fans who think Amorim is not up to it, Ruben Amorim hasn't got what it takes, he's too stubborn, his tactics don't work, he's a shit manager, you're going to be really upset. But I'm going to just give you a word of caution and say, don't be too upset, don't be too angry, because he's just saying this now because obviously we won that game against Sunderland. If we didn't win that game against Sunderland, I bet it'd be a different story. And it's also, he's saying it now, you know, it's not before any other game in the season. So it's all well and good, you know, whatever they're doing, but the truth reality is, when it comes to football, if Amorim doesn't get the results, he's out. Doesn't matter what Ratcliffe says about, I want to give my Rangers 3 years. If we finish outside the relegation zone, just outside the relegation zone, every fucking season, Amorim's gonna get sacked quicker than he can say sangria. That's the truth. This is courtesy of Sky Sports News. It says Ruben Amorim. So Jim Ratcliffe wants to give under pressure Man United head coach 3 years to prove himself. 3 fucking years. Manchester minority owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe has said that he wants to give under pressure head coach Ruben Amorim 3 years to prove himself. Amorim is approaching the 1st anniversary of his appointment at Old Trafford, but his post has been under scrutiny since he took over on November 1st of last year. He also failed to record back-to-back Premier League wins during a 15th of last season. Their worst, United were knocked out of the Carabao Cup by League 2 Grimsby. That has led to suggestions that Amorim's job is under threat. But Ratcliffe said that the 40-year-old is a good guy and has time to turn it around. What does being a good guy have anything to do with, like, making your team win, or just, you know, coaching to make sure you achieve your goals of winning? Honestly, it's not really that big, really. Come on, it's not really that big. Plus, you know, most of the people he's probably seen already anyway. Who fucking cares? It says, yeah, Ruben needs to demonstrate he's a great coach. He's on a business podcast. Asked if Amorim is going to get 3 years. Ratcliffe replied, yes, this is where this is where I would be. 3 years, because football is not in overnight. There's 3 years. You definitely look at Man United and Arsenal. He had a miserable time over the last couple of years, but look what's happened. Very calm. Everything's done. You know what I mean? That's what I want, you know, this place to be. Essentially, I'd assume that's what he probably wants. I'd assume. We have to be patient, he says. We have a long-term plan. It isn't a light switch. You can't run a club like Man United on knee-jerk reactions to some journalist who goes off on every week. Honestly, infuriating, this guy. What the guys want ramming out? Ratcliffe is okay, cool. So you heard what Ratcliffe said, right? And like I said, I just think this is bullshit, because if Amorim's results don't improve, if we don't start winning games, he's going to be out. That's the truth of it. He's not bigger than the program. Remember again, he really isn't that bigger than the program. So if he doesn't want to pay, then it's all good. But if he does, you know, it's there. But Jesus Christ, man. The one thing that I don't really kind of figure out with this whole Ruben Amorim thing is this. Why did they spend so much money? I just can't figure out this part. Why did the club spend so much money to get that guy out of his contract to arrive to United, but then not give him the players that he needs to play the brand of football that he requires? Surely they should have looked at our squad before they signed him, thinking to themselves, oh shit, he's going to have to choose from a lot of people. You know, that's what you do if you're smart. You'd be like, oh my god, damn, I gotta do this, you know? That's what you'd be fucking doing. You wouldn't be just waiting there. It's just such a, honestly, or waiting for him to figure it out. That's why you can't really, I don't think, blame it all on Amorim. As bad as he's been, some of the circumstances in and around him have been such hellholes. Made no freaking sense, you know? No sense whatsoever. Absolutely no sense. But let's see how it plays out with Ruben Amorim. Let's see how it plays out with Ruben Amorim. The best news to come out of this, the best news to come out of United over the last couple of days has been this. Big up Turki Alalshikh. Big up Turki Alalshikh or Alalshikh. Randomly, he decided to wake up Sunday early morning, I think, and just tweeted the following. He just tweeted the following. Like, are you insane? You know? He just tweeted the following, and if you hit translate on his tweet, what you'll see is this. The best news I heard today is that Manchester United is now in an advanced stage of completing a deal to sell to a new investor. I hope he's better than the previous owners. And if you don't think about United, you don't think about me and how I talk about the club, you know that I'm always banging on about how shit the Glazers are and the fact that we haven't won since, you know, they've kind of taken over the place and shit. It's a direct correlation. Yes, it is, because you've been, you know, whatever you've been up to and what you have, you know? Man's got a child and he's out here fucking pointing fingers and shit, but I don't know. To me, I think this is the best news possible. If United want to then go forward and be able to regain the spot that we once had, the one thing that's holding us back is the Glazers. The Glazers are the common denominator, the common factor of the last 15 plus years. Without them, things would definitely be sunshine and rainbows. Without them, things would be definitely sunshine and rainbows, because they don't, you know, they don't do all that stuff next to them. You'd imagine so. You would imagine so. But I think that's going to be the only hope going forward, because if we keep changing managers, hoping, because the only other option to do to get United back where we need to be is to keep swapping managers, hope that we stumble upon SAF 2.0. Or the reincarnation of SAF, let's just say that, right? And that's never going to happen. I think once a generation, manager, human being, everything, just not going to happen. That makes complete sense. That makes complete sense. So all we have to do now is to look forward to our structure changing, getting owners in that care about winning trophies, winning the league, and then they'll make certain moves, certain structural changes that allow us to do that often and repeatedly, you know, because the other guys don't really know what they're talking about, you know. But hey, that's what I heard. Big up Turkey. He blew up the internet. Not too sure if this is true anyway, because a bunch of United based accounts have been saying it is, I'm saying it isn't. This particular United account called MUFC MPBB says as follows regarding the whole Charlie Kirk situation. I looked what? What's that? I looked what? Oh no, let's read this one actually. Because of Ben Jacobs says, is there a mystery? If there's a mystery investor for the Man United, it's not from Saudi Arabia. There's also denials from the Qatar side. United sources are in the dark and they deny anything is advanced or close. However, this could potentially be a possibility that the Glazers are independently speaking to investors. Yeah, possibly, but I want them fully out. No investing in nothing. Not have any back quotes, zero. Just investing in love altogether. Yeah. Okay. Fair play. Fair freaking play. What else we got? That's it, right? What? Did you sell anything or no? Maybe not. Cool. Let's continue on. A major group, Turki Alalshikh, saying they're going to confirm there. Yeah, exactly. Big up Don Dotto. I can't wait for that. Bill Burr at the new Old Trafford will be fucking phenomenal. I'll love that. I'll fucking love that. The best news actually to come as well, another good news, is courtesy of BBC News. It says pubs could stay open longer under a new licensing reform. This is to help inject new money or inject more money back into the UK economy, because I guess people aren't going outside and spending a lot of money on booze as they probably should, it's according to the government. Maybe it's to do with changes in culture. I feel like nowadays more and more of our friends socially are becoming sober, but not like boring sober where they can still go out, but they just prefer not to drink or do drugs. That's becoming a big trend nowadays, especially with the Gen Z kids. But a lot of people, millennials even, are deciding to suck off the booze. And in the UK, a big part of social gatherings, a big part of you being social or finding friends is your ability to hang in the pub. So this becoming, you know, them this noticing the shift and wanting to inject back or allow people to stay there longer to inject more money into the economy, I think it's a good idea. But I also think it's a good idea off bat. I think it's a good idea because this will end up alleviating all the pressure on clubs and shit. Because I think there are some people out there who probably shouldn't be in clubs. who probably have no reason to be in a club, but they only go there because the clubs are open late. And they come with the wrong energy, or they come with a weird energy. So you got a weird mix of people on the dance floor. Whereas it should be people on the dance floor who kind of want to be there, not people who just want to go get fucked up. But I think if you spread the load, pause, right, for lack of a better term, if you spread the load and you have people clubbing, you have people in cocktail bars, wine bars, you know, pubs and shit, it helps to spread the load. So when it comes to, you know, end of the daytime, you know, when it comes to home time, people aren't just rushing to the club to stay. Because I remember that's what happened when I first went to Hastings. When I first went to Hastings to go visit a friend back in the day, that was the first thing I remember feeling. I was like, oh, this is so gross. But I kind of got why, like, I remember because I would watch these shows. I don't know if they're still around, but there'd be these TV shows. They used to air in the UK where they would kind of follow the ambulance service on a weekend, right? Payday weekend or something, or maybe Halloween weekend. And they'll follow them. It'll be like a, you know, reality novels, like a real life thing, right? They'll be recording these nurses and mostly nurses and ambulance people and shit, as they attend to people who fall over when they're drunk or get into fights and shit. And you'd always see a part of that show where the driver or whoever that is in the ambulance be sitting there thinking, oh, it's a calm before the storm. They knew exactly when it'll kick off. They're kind of watching their watches, and as soon as people get chucked out of clubs, or as soon as pubs, and I think in smaller towns, or especially places like Hastings, the pubs will stay open until like 11 or 12, let's say, right? But then the pubs, because they only stay open until 11 or 12, they then decide to serve drinks earlier, or they then decide to open earlier, or they have a longer happy hour. So the pubs that are open till 10 might have a happy hour from like 5 till 6. But the happy hour will be crazy good. Like, it'll be like, I don't know, £1 drinks or something. So they want you to get there early for that hour to spend as much money as you can on the cheap booze. And obviously, if you continue to get licked, you're probably going to stay there. But if you want to continue the night, you're going to go to a club. But then imagine how much booze you've already got inside of you. Imagine how licked you are. You probably have no business being in any club. You should be in your bed somewhere. So I feel like these type of laws, if they come into place, because they're still under consideration, nothing's been confirmed yet. But if there are some changes in licensing laws that allow pubs to stay open for longer, I bet you, if you go clubbing in the UK, you'll notice a drastic improvement in how much fun you have in clubs, because it will change the makeup, the mixture of people in there. There'll be less people in there trying to get fucked up, more people in there for the music. That's what I think. That's the hope. And that's what I think happens in other cities around the world, like the Amsterdams and the Berlins and stuff, because they have a pub culture or a bar culture where places like that are open till 4 a.m. You don't need to go to a club. If you're in a cool cocktail bar that opens until 5, 6 a.m., you don't need to go to a club anymore, because this is a pretty decent setting. You're sat by the bar, you're having a powwow with the fucking bartender, you're telling them your life story, you're sharing stories to other people, you're putting tunes on the jukebox. You don't need to go to a club, you know? But then when they open, when they close early, of course you want to go. But then you're already going there steaming and probably not the best, probably not in your best behavior. So I hope this is true, and I hope this comes about. Let's read the article. It says the plans could make it easier for venues to serve food outside and host more live music, in a bid to remove unnecessary barriers. Pub landlords and local authorities and community will be able to have their say in a 4-week call for evidence. Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer said the review was about cutting the tape and boosting the footfall for the support of the UK economy growth. But critics have warned that relaxing the rules around alcohol would lead to more antisocial. But brother, like, something has to be done. Like, give it a rest, man. This whole country is built on antisocial behavior. Like, oh, if it happened to the pub, it's gonna be antisocial. Bro, this whole country is built on antisocial behavior. Like, stop this nonsense. Another one. So Keir Starmer said pubs and bars are the beating heart of our communities, and added that the government was backing them to thrive. When our locals do well, our economy does too. The call for evidence will focus on the Nike recommendations for the government licensing task force, while particular emphasis on streamlining on trade alcohol licensing for hospitality venues. It said that it plans to cut the cost of licensing, extend business rates relief, and cut alcohol duty on draft pints. That's great. Because the licensing laws in place, like in a borough like Hackney, for instance, the licensing laws there are so bad, but they did that on purpose to kind of kill the clubs, because they didn't want the clubs to be there, because they wanted more bars and restaurants to attract a different type of person to come to the area to buy houses, whatever, right? It's a whole thing. And I have sympathy with those people. But I feel like when it comes to gentrification, when it comes to licensing laws, there has to be a middle ground. There has to be some level of like some level of negotiation that kind of suits both parties. Because I feel like for whatever reason, I don't know, maybe it's because people that own homes pay more in taxes or whatever. But whenever these conversations come up, like imagine if there's a pop-in pub around the corner from a residential area, there's never a consideration for how that pub is gonna fare in the future. As soon as the residents oppose it, there's no licensing for you. Whereas I think there should be some sort of like mutual agreement, a compromise that can be reached for both parties. Maybe the pub can't stay open until 7 a.m. Maybe they can compromise and say 4, you know? Maybe they can compromise and make edits and make sure that there's fucking soundproofing in the pub and stuff. Whatever, something needs to be done to kind of help both parties. But in the UK, it's always favoring the residents, always favoring the businesses like restaurants and cocktail bars, but never people that actually go out and stuff, which is kind of annoying. Hopefully that's kind of part of this. I don't think it is, but hopefully it is. The proposal to remove the local newspaper advertising requirement for a manager wanting to set up a premises or alter their license was among the task force's other recommendations. I didn't know that. That's a rule. Look how fucking old school that rule is. A proposal to remove the local newspaper advertising requirement for a manager wanting to set up a premises. Rah. It also recommended a permanent increase to the number of temporary event notices needed to hold a one-off licensable event on unscheduled premises and simpler rules for trading in outdoor areas. Yeah, exactly. Needed. And I wonder if that's DJ AG influence. I wonder if that last sentence there, rules for trading outdoors, that whole license, unlicensed premises, I wonder if that's like the influence of DJ AG or just the influence of the trend of a lot of these like guerrilla marketing music campaigns that they do under the Shoreditch Bridge or in random places. Now I just want to make it legit so no one gets in trouble. I like that. It continues as Nick McKenzie, the co-chair of the licensing task force and the chief executive of the pub group, or the pub giant, Green King, said the updating licensing system was a vital step towards reducing the challenges of running a hospitality business. Pubs are faced with the continued rising costs, he said, placing them under enormous pressure, which is why the government must continue to back the sector, including critical reforms on business rates, to unlock opportunities in the UK pubs. UK Hospitality and the body which represents the pubs and the bars in the UK welcomed the review. Under the current regime, it said a single complaint from a single resident. Exactly, this is what I hate. Under the current regime, a single complaint from a single resident is enough to stop a business from being able to trade. It can result in a review. It can result in the business being closed down, says Kate Nichols, chief executive of the body, told the BBC Radio 4 program. And that's something I don't know. That's something I can never get jiggy with. I can never get jiggy with one person deciding the fate or the future of millions or of hundreds of thousands. It's just not fair. There should be, again, compromises should be reached. Or maybe if you're going to have the complaints thing, have it be triggered by a number of people calling, complaining about the same thing. Have the trigger be 10 or something. Don't have it one fucking, party people neighbor that's not on anything deciding that, oh yeah, this whole strip of places, you're gone because I want to sleep at 6 p.m. in the evening. Like, allow it. It continues. This is not about trading later. It's not about the 24-hour licensing, drinking. This is about making sure that what we can respond to consumer demands and that we can offer freedom and flexibility at a low enough cost. Andrew Griffith, the Shadow Business Secretary, called for the government to implement licensing task force recommendations published in June. But Richard Pipper, the chief executive of the charity of Alcohol Change UK, told The Guardian that the proposed reforms could be a charter for chaos without the support of the local brother. Like, honestly, like I said, like, this whole country is built on chaos. This whole country has been built off the back of chaos. Like, just relax, man. Ain't that deep. It really isn't. It continued here, said he's permitting vendors to sell alcohol later in the evening would inevitably mean more victims of crime, including domestic violence, more antisocial behavior, disturbances, police time spent dealing with drink-fueled instances, and both ambulances and A&E staff having to deal with even more people that have come to harm as a result of alcohol. That's all true, but unfortunately you have to roll the dice on that one. All of that is true, but unfortunately you have to roll the dice on that one and just test and see where I'm going, because not knowing is just as bad, Not knowing is just as bad. Pubs in England and Wales do not have universal fixed opening hours under current licensing laws. Instead, local authorities grant license. Exactly, yeah. So there's I think there's a pub in my area somewhere. Where is it? Kind of in my area that's open until like 6. So it depends where you are in the world or where you are in London. There are some pubs here that are open until 6. There's some pubs here that will close at 10. It just depends on where you go. But some sort of like general rule across the board will be definitely handy for a lot of people, I think. The number of pubs in the UK has steadily decreased in every year since 2000. According to the British Beer and Pub Association, the association estimates that 378 pubs will close in 2025 across England, Wales, and more than the 5,600 chops direct job losses. Jesus Christus. The BBC has heard from landlords and customers on the government's licensing review. Mark Costello, let's see what people have to say, the actual people. What do the people have to say here? Mark Costello from Leeds, who runs a brewery and a tap room, said costs were his main concern. It doesn't matter how long we're allowed to stay open, it costs a huge amount to stay open. Okay, cool. Another person here, Josh Ashton from Huddersfield, who owns 2 micro pubs, said he had to deal with a bureaucratic mountain when dealing with the councils, who he says are barriers to growth. Andy Hefsfield, East Sussex, at the pub he lives next to, is making everyone's lives a misery, and the longer hours, the more misery. Okay, so it seems that the people that are actually living this place, they don't like it. This guy lives next to a pub and he said it's already causing everyone's misery. So if they allowed him to open later, it would be more misery extended throughout the night and the morning. That's hilarious. David from Cambridge, who has been a pub goer for 55 years, says the increased business rates, national insurance, and minimum wage, and customers with less disposable income are the real problem facing pubs. Yeah, that's true. I think that's all very true. But I do think for what we have available, you know, for what we have available. But I really hope it happens. I really hope it works out. Really hope we get to see more pubs in the UK open for longer. More pubs in the UK open for longer. Please, motherfuckers. Please, please, please. Yo, do you guys remember that girl? Do you remember that girl that was profusing? Do you remember that girl that was saying that she was a sister of Madeleine McCann? I think she's like Polish or something. I don't know where she's from, but she came out of the blue, out of nowhere. And I think because she kind of slightly looks like Madeleine McCann, people kind of believed her, but quickly people realized that she was full of shit. I think her parents or someone from her family came out and said she's crazy. She's she's catfished people and stuff. She's a mad girl. Well, it's gotten a bit dark. It's gotten a bit dark because allegedly she's gotten in touch with Madeleine McCann's sister, who I guess is a young person now, right? Because Madeleine McCann disappeared many years ago, so her younger sister must be quite old now, or like, you know, a young woman, I'm assuming, maybe a teenager or something. But it's an article courtesy of the BBC. It says alleged Madeleine McCann stalker sent creepy messages. Yeah, let's read the article here. It's just flipping crazy to think about. Madeleine McCann's sister has told a court that a woman claiming to be her missing sibling played with her emotions and sent creepy messages. Emil McCann, honestly, this is so bad, man. Amelie McCann and Julia Wanton and Julia Wandelt had told her, Julia Wandelt, yeah, that's the girl. I remember her name now. Yeah, Julia Wandelt had told her that she had memories of playing Ring Ring of Rosies with her and feeding her brother Sean. The 24-year-old wanted to prove that she was the missing youngster with a DNA test, but Miss McCann told Leicester Crown Court, I always knew that she wasn't Madeleine, so I didn't even need to do one. Okay, Miss Wandel and Karen Sprang, who the court heard met Miss Wandel online before helping to orchestrate her approaches, deny stalking Katie and Gentry McCann, the parents of Mr. Madeleine McCann, who disappeared on the 3rd of May 2007 in Portugal. I wonder if we're ever going to find out what happened to that girl. Will we ever actually find out, or will it just be one of those mysteries that just gets lost in the sand of time? Will we actually ever find out what happened to Madeleine McCann? Or is the theory true what everyone thinks, that she died elsewhere a long time ago? She's not currently alive, living in some farm somewhere. She told the court that she was aware of Miss Wandel and she had been in the media, but as she used the name Julia, Miss McCann hadn't clocked it was the same person. She said, I was used to getting messages from people about the case and was used to ignoring messages. At first, she said it didn't really tell anybody about it. I just thought I could deal with it by myself and ignore it. Fucking no, honestly. These people are insane. That's Karen Sprang and that's Julia Wanda. Right? Yeah, so that was a girl that would... she's a bit chunky, I know. But that was a girl that would pretend, or at least she thinks she's Madeleine McCann. Not sure. That's the thing I'm not sure about this girl. Is she pretending she's Madeleine, or does she legitimately think she's Madeleine? I don't know. Either way, it's a fucking horrible, heart-wrenching story. Over the course of the first day of messages, Miss McCann and Miss Wandelt told her that she had used hypnosis sessions and had flashbacks of childhood memories of being with Madeleine. Childhood memory. Come on, man. People lie, like feeding Sean and playing with Emily. The defendant also talked about the night Madeleine's disappearance, police corruption, and DNA in a series of messages. Prosecutor Nadia Silva said. The witness was then asked about a line in another message, which the court said that Miss Wandelt recalled playing Ringa Ringa Roses. Again, it makes me feel quite uncomfortable because it's quite creepy and playing with my emotions and my memories that she claims that happened. It put a lot of stress on me. Miss Wandelt, Miss McCann said, continue to message over the Instagram and Facebook. Fucking hell, that's the picture of Madeleine McCann who disappeared. The court was told that Miss Wandelt had asked Mr. McCann to do a DNA test with her. But the witness said, I'd always knew it wasn't Madeleine, so I didn't even need to do one. Miss Wandelt, the jury said, urged Miss McCann to get her parents to respond to her messages about the DNA test. Make them believe that there's still hope. I'll do whatever it takes. Jesus Christ. Another message sent on the 29th of April contained images of the pair and said that she'd give me a chance to prove it. Miss McCann said that she'd clearly altered the pictures to make me make me more like, which she clearly created it to make me more like her, which was quite disturbing. She said she'd never respond to Miss Wandelt's messages. Fucking hell, that's Kate and Jerry, the fathers of Madeleine McCann. Miss Wandelt, the court heard, also sent a letter to Miss McCann's family home in roughly Leicestershire, addressed to Emily McCann, which contained photos of both and Miss Wandelt. It said that Miss McCann was her last hope and that she really needed her. Describing the toll the alleged stalking had on the family, Miss McCann added, my mum found it the hardest and was harassed by Julia more than the rest of us. People are just bored, innit? Like, this is just pure boredom. Like, what are you doing to these people? Leave them alone. They're already suffering as it is, and here you are stalking them online, trying to convince them that you're the ghost of their fucking missing sister or something. Like, come on, man. It's just horrendous shit. She also spoke with another mother about being harassed and on the edge after the defendants turned up to the family home at 7 December 2024, demanding a DNA test around Christmas. Like, honestly, you got crazy. Miss McCann concluded her evidence by saying that the increased security measures at the home, such as the panic alarm to alert the Leicestershire police and new CCTV footage and the Ring doll cam, were not normal. That's true. You don't live in a fucking, I mean, it's a little bit crazy, all the security measures, but I guess you got to do what you got to do when you got these fucking psychos out there. Mr. Kanker is not normal. Meanwhile, Amelia's twin brother said that he had established his head wound. So how did the girl get out of the car if he was in the driver's seat then? I don't know. Maybe he was left in the car. That seems odd, isn't it? How did she get out quickly before he did? Or maybe the side of the door open. I don't know. It continues. Meanwhile, Amelia's twin brother, Sean, had a statement read out by the court. He said that he had he was being contacted by Instagram in November 2024 by two of Miss Wandelt's accounts. He said he did not respond and blocked the accounts, but he said the message found a message and something was sent. Something was sent. He changed his social media profiles following the contact to remove the surname to make him hard to find, the court heard. The statement added, I'm aware Julia may be suffering from a lot of mental health. If, however, she's fully aware she's not Madeleine, yet makes these claims that will not. It's very upsetting for me. I do not believe that she's a sister. The fact that Julia is more than this caused me a great deal of stress, and the finding out, by her own DP brother. So it's all a bit kind of mad. Not gonna lie, it's all a bit kind of mad. But hey, what can you do? What can you do? Hopefully they find her. Hopefully they find that girl in the end. Hopefully they find that girl in the end. Talking about the end, let's quickly talk about this. Actually, talking about the end, why don't we talk about this? Big up All Points East. I think Tyler the Creator shared this. I'm not sure if he was meant to, or this is what they're doing nowadays. They're letting the artists announce the lineup of the festival. I'm not sure if that's a thing, but All Points East Festival happening next year. They're already advertising next year festival, by the way. How crazy is that? How scary is that? I already saw somebody advertising a fucking New Year's Eve party the other day. But yeah, festivals for next year already been advertised. All Points East is coming up, and according to this post that I think Tyler the Creator shared first on his Instagram stories, it looks like All Points East is going very dark. It's going very urban. It's going very black. It's going in the direction that I like. And I'm not the biggest fan of All Points East. I think I went to another festival that was it All Points East? It must be All Points East. Legendary, or it's known because of obviously having great lineups sometimes. It's also kind of near everyone, where everybody lives in Victoria Park in near East London, easy to get to. And it's also known for having one of the worst sound systems ever. Usually the volume level at All Points East is fucking terrible. I'm actually want to check. Let me actually see if there's actually a way to check if somebody went to All Points East to see if they had the same experience that I did. Hopefully IPTV went there one year. All Points East, is it vlog? Let's see, because I remember it being quite terrible. Okay, they did go there. When's it? 3 years ago. Getting drunk. Okay, very average. Okay, cool. They went there 3 years ago. Let me see what these guys say, because I really like these guys. What they called? They called TPD TV. Let's see what they thought of it.
Just because I like alternative music, it does not mean I want to listen to Fat Lip by Sum 41 over and over again.
Well, I think going to work.
All right, this weekend, probably. We've got some extracurricular stuff to do as well. So join us this weekend as we see some more live music. I'm sick to death of it. What?
It's good.
Yeah, rock and roll.
I'm going to fast forward a little bit so that when it gets to the festival, I want to see what the festival is like, because obviously around it is pretty fun, Victoria Park settings and shit, but let's fast forward a bit and let's see what the festival's saying when they get in there. There's a hostel they stayed in, more London walking. Okay, there's the outside. There's Victoria Park. I always had a nightmare in one of those Final Destinations fucking frights, that if I ever climbed over the gates of a gate like that, my foot would get stuck. That one of my fears in life is that if I climb over a gate like that, my foot would get stuck here. And as I'm jumping down, the foot would stay still, but I would twist. Eesh. Big up Don Dotto. I wonder why festivals have been announced months earlier this year. Coachella and Primavera 2026 come to mind. Yeah, exactly. I think just for money, man. I think money's sake. I think they want to get probably money and real estate. They want to get in your mind sooner. They want you to have them they want you to have them in their minds. They want you to have them in their minds earlier, so that you can commit to the festival earlier. They can get money in the tills, in the coffers earlier, because there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of competition for festivals around the world, and I think Justin's headlining Coachella, right? So if they tell you, hey, Justin's headlining Coachella right after the first Coachella ends, or just I think the other month. I think the Coachella lineup happened the other month actually. It locks you in, because most likely I would imagine, because Swag did so well last year. Because Justin Bieber's album did so well last year, I'm assuming he's probably going to go on a world tour anyway, or he's going to go on a big tour. So it's not like he's only playing in Coachella, but Coachella is the first festival that announced it. So they want you to get excited for him playing there, buy the ticket, get locked in, and go from there. Because if they wait too long, you're going to decide to maybe go to one that's more convenient. If you're not in the States, you might wait to see Justin Bieber wherever you are in Europe or everywhere else in the world. So that's why they're announcing it early. They just want to make sure they grab people and get them on board sooner rather than later, because there's just so much competition now. Because festivals now, like, I don't know, I follow RA for the most part, Mixed Mag, but I think RA has like a festival list for every month of the year. I'm pretty sure RA, Resident Advisor, has a feature on their site where they publish the best festivals, and they have a extensive list for each month of the year. Doesn't matter what time of the year it is. Now, technically in Ibiza, this is the end of the festival, or the festival season, or the holiday season, whatever it's called, right? The summer season. This is the end of it, which usually signals the beginning of the clubs going into overdrive. But when January comes around, there's going to be festivals straight away. I think one of the first festivals on the circuit happens in January. I think it's in like Vietnam or something. That's one of the first ones that kind of kicks everything off. So yeah, I think they're just announcing it earlier to get people on board so you don't go elsewhere, basically.
Oh, it's easy. Of course it is.
But All Points East is shit, innit?
Yeah,
it is.
It's all good.
What does that mean on that?
I like how honest they are about that. I wonder if they, because I'm sure they probably get tickets comped to these type of things, but it's quite good that they don't tell them what to say, or they don't put restrictions, or maybe they just don't give a fuck. But I do like how honest they are about what they do like and don't like. And I also like the fact that they put themselves out there. I think they went to, didn't they go to like a Gabba festival or like a Psytrance or something really horrible, and they absolutely hated it, but they went anyway. Like, imagine going to a festival for a genre of music that you're not into. That is horrendous. And I think they had to camp there too. But yeah, I do like how honest they are about their thoughts and feelings regarding the festivals they go to. Big up what they called again, I keep forgetting their name. TPD TV.
On that banner.
What?
General admission. What is that? What is that? I've not heard of that. Memories.
Yo, this is like that place in America. The Dome. What was the place it was at, man?
It doesn't matter. Where's the bar?
All over the place.
Double vodka Red Bull?
Oh, I'm easy, so I'll have whatever. Triple, go on then.
Excited?
Oh, I'm very excited. I've never tried a double rum and Red Bull, so...
It's called a tropical rumble.
But we heard they either say £14 or £40. Leave a comment after you press that like button.
Jesus
you
Christ.
Think it is. I'll give you a hint. We're in the south. What could it be? So we were here last time for when Bring the headlined, and they're giving away those free tickets. They've got a bit of a different layout this year. There's a piece of information for you.
What's up?
Quick game.
What's up?
For 4 double rumbles,
Yeah?
was it A, £14 or B, £40?
Right, okay.
Definitely £40.
Yes, so A14 or B14? I'd be inclined to go for B14.
How about you test that? You tell me how much you think that's worth.
It's cracking as well, so...
It's not.
Well, it's got cracking on the cup.
Oh yeah.
Oh, she's done your day there.
I'm gonna go for
40.
B40.
You're locking it in. You've just won £1,000. Jesus fucking Christ.
Quid a double.
Do you know what? That's fine. Like, I'm happy.
To be fair, that isn't too bad, really. I know it sounds kind of crazy, everyone that doesn't live here, but a vodka, what's that, Red Bull, a vodka double Red Bull for £10 is pretty standard. If anything, there's some bars that might do it for more, so it might be a little bit cheaper, so it's not that too bad. Not too bad.
When I was in Coachella, it was about 25 quid for a double.
I'm happy. God, I hope they prayed on that fucking beef.
Guys, if you're gonna call this a Lucifer hot sauce, at least make it a little bit spicy. This is the deadest fucking sauce I've ever had. Chips are very nice though.
1, 2, 1, 2.
But always be nice.
What's going on out there, man?
Is that Kanye? What?
Imagine if it was Kanye.
If it were, I'd just stay here all day.
Chucky, I fancy a cig. Can you hook a brother up?
You want it squashed or extra flat?
Oh, always, mate, always.
I got
Hey, that's what I like. Hey, that's what we like.
Let's go.
So we went to the bar to get everyone a drink, but we think they've played a practical joke on us.
They've disappeared.
So guess what? The practical joke's been joked on them, baby.
Pusha T's great. I can't wait to hear. Every time I jump on stage, everyone knows I'm on the next high. Tazs. That's him, innit?
Odds on him doing.
That sounds kind of racist. I'm not gonna lie. Him mistaking Pusha T for Temper T is kind of racist.
Runaway cover, eh? If he does it, this was okay to see. If he doesn't, I'm not going to see Pusha T again, probably. It's up to you, Pusha. You decide. Runaway.
Run away fast as you can.
Well,
Do you know what? Let me fast forward a little bit. I just want to hear their roundup. Let's hear if I can hear their roundup review. It's towards the end, probably, right? It's around here, maybe. Let's see if I can hear what they think as a roundup about All Points East. Maybe it's around here. Yeah, let's go ahead.
an email tonight to his old email address.
A good night.
Oh, you're my boo too.
I got myself a nice little.
Really good sachets, better than the normal ones.
It all over you.
He's right.
Down this thing while somebody's stopping you and you gotta like place.
The issue with that is the
Like the stuff here.
Be at home. I was pretty sober.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
As I walk to this main stage and I feel tired, I'm exhausted, I'd rather be at home, I'd rather be in the hostel. I'm reminded of Lightship Festival where I felt...
Wow, that's a scathing review, isn't it? I'd rather be in the hostel. Jesus Christ, that's not a good sign, isn't it? I'd rather be in the hostel is not a good vote of confidence at All Points East.
Exactly the same as this. I just wanted to be at home. I was pretty sober. I'd had a shit day and I sat down on the bleachers and I was mesmerised and inspired by one of the best live sets I've ever seen, the Chemical Brothers. So it's only fitting that I feel this wank now, because I know if anything is going to take me to that next level, it's going to be the Chems. If you've never seen the Chemical Brothers, they will change your life, believe me. Let's do it.
Okay, maybe I got to take it back. Maybe the sound isn't too bad. People look like they're having a blast over there.
Here we go.
Okay, what do the comments say here? Is this about the need a new spin-off show? Mary absolutely makes my day. I love y'all. Just went sober to a fest. Praise its benefits. Then just cruise some brews on this one. Just want to thank you for putting out quality content. Mary's on fire. Disappointed looks you gave you wrong. Da, da, da. I would watch this again. Rob sponsor advertising becoming incredibly professional. Honestly, living in London the past year, it really is one of the worst big cities for the late night in the UK. Regulation has completely killed it, meaning there are forced closing times in different boroughs, and it's increasingly hard for places to get or keep their licenses, and the amount of areas in central London where you can have a club is increasingly small, as well as the strict planning permission on buildings in central London disproportionately increases the property prices, meaning the trade-off of turning land into venues and housing is increasingly towards housing, as the amount you get for it keeps increasing and the ability to run a venue gets harder and harder. Exactly, that's very well put, by the way. Very, very well put by this person. In tears at MK's a rock my eyebrow. This is the best movie I've ever seen. I'm going back some older videos because I've had to withdraw and haven't seen them in ages. Cool. So there's definitely some good reviews there about All Points East. Well, all of that to say, there is a new All Points East lineup for 2027. So, or 2026, sorry, coming at 2027, 2026. Imagine they start advertising 2027 festivals now. So this is next year, Friday 28th to Saturday the 29th of August. 2026 in Victoria Park, All Points East. The lineup headlining, as you can see in the middle there, Tyler the Creator. So that's definitely something that I'm going to be trying to go to. That's going to be fucking sick, isn't it? To see Tyler the Creator performing in fucking Victoria Park. That'd be fucking sick. Other people have playing your AG Club, Larizzi, June Donson, Rochelle Jordan. I like her. She makes really cool R&B. Love Spells, I don't know. Lenny or Lena, I forgot how you say her name, but she's similar to Rochelle Jordan. Kind of make good music, like R&B influence, pop music, house, whatever type of shit they do. It's really cool. Fakemink performing, that's gonna be a big one. It's probably gonna be quite terrible though, because I've seen Fakemink perform. He did a little tour. I think he was in the US for a bit, and his performances look pretty shit. Not really singing into the microphone, singing over a track, not an instrumental. It looked kind of dead. So Fakemink might be terrible live. Vince Staples live will be fun. Vince Staples, the Clipse, Sexy Red, Yeba, Rex Orange County, Turnstile, Mariah the Scientist, Daniel Caesar, Baby Keem will be sick live, I reckon. Dijon will be sick live. Ghostface Killer will be sick live. Sid from the Internet will be sick live. Faye Webster, Danny Brown will be sick live. Jim Legacy, I think, is gonna kill it. Samara Sin and Kamari, Mike, Quadeca and Party of Two and Mustard and Friends. Really interesting fucking lineup, isn't it? Very more artists to be announced. It's very black, but very American too. I like it. I like the mix. I guess the two there's quite a few UK people here. I'm not sure there's more than two, but yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. This looks like a pretty decent lineup, and more to be announced later on. So this isn't the full lineup anyway. This is a pretty tidy lineup. I'm not gonna lie. This is a pretty tidy lineup. AG Club, Larizzi, Jane Dawson, Rochelle Jordan, Love Spells. Yeah, Tyler Creator being the main headliner, killing it, and it's not too expensive too for the 2 days, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's like 150 or something like that. Which again, it sounds a lot, but for like UK festivals, London festivals particularly, not that bad. And plus, it's in London, it's in Victoria Park. A lot of people that live here won't need to camp or anything. I don't think they have camping options anyway, but still, it'll be a good place to go. So a pretty decent lineup there. Just got announced the other day, or just today actually. Just got announced today. And then on top of that, actually, I went to quickly also mention the Coachella lineup, which I was surprised people were so negative on this. Obviously, it's been proven now that the negativity was false, because if I'm not mistaken, it's all sold out already. I think I saw a post on here, right? Yeah, it's all sold out for both weekends, I think, right? So it's already sold out. So clearly, all the hullabaloo from people is fucking bullshit. But I thought as free headliners go, this is a pretty sick lineup of headliners for a festival based in LA. For the 3 days, the Friday, the Saturday, the Sunday, you got Sabrina Carpenter, Justin Bieber, and Karol G. For both, I guess, because they usually have concurrent weekends, right? So this is on the 16th, on the 10th and the 17th of April. The other ones for the 17th and the 18th, and then the other ones for the 17th, 12th, and the 19th. So these are some pretty good lineups, man, for LA-based, festival. And people are going like Sabrina Carpenter, Justin Bieber, and Karol G. Justin Bieber is going to be the first time performing live since that time that he quit his tour because he was burnt out and shit. Plus the album Swag is doing absolute numbers. People are going to be so excited. He seems like he's energized and refreshed and ready to perform again. He performs sick anyway. I'm really surprised people are negative on this. Sabrina Carpenter seems like a great performer live. Karol G, Spanish speaking, she's going to kill it there too. I'm assuming there's going to be a bunch of people out there singing her lyrics word for word. And the rest of the lineup is amazing. The Friday, Sabrina Carpenter made headline, and then you got the XX, 9 Inch Noise, Disclosure, Turnstile, Ethel Cain, Dijon, Teddy Swims, Cat's Eye, Sexy Red, Central C, again, big up, Foster the People, Levity, Blood Orange, Moby performing, Marlon Hofstad, Licky Lee, Fakemink again, big up Fakemink, he's killing it now, Gordo, Creepy Nuts, Joyce Manor, Beanie, Katama, Groove Armada, Joss, Hugo, Slater, Hamdi, Max Styler, Wednesday, Tulips you see here, Max Dean, Luca Dean, Chloe Chalette, and Rosie performing, or back to back, I guess, right? Jessica Branca, Sarah, Justin Bieber night. You got the Strokes. Justin Bieber now on the Saturday. You got the Strokes, Gibeon, Addison Rae. That's a great real booking for her. Labyrinth, Somber, David Brand, Interpol. Come on, man, Interpol, the Strokes, Alex G, Soy Lee. Like this is gonna be hard. Solomon, Tamin, Pink Pantress, Roy Otis, Fuji Kezi, Aridi. How do you pronounce her name? Aridite, Davido, Boys Nose. Yukimatsu's playing. That's a great booking, by the way. I wonder if that's because of the back of that crazy viral Boiler Room set he did. That's amazing for him. Green Velvet. Who else is on here? Los Hermanos Flores. Who else is Ben Sterling? Blonde Shell, big up Blonde Shell. I think new album dropping today or yesterday or something. Mine Enterprises. Who else is there? And on the Sunday, Karol G, Young Thug, Cascade, Big Bang, Major Lazer, Iggy Pop, Sick, FK Twigs, Wet Leg, Clipse, Little Sims, Moshak, Duke Dumont, Armin van Buren, Adam Beyer, Gigi Perez, The Rapture, Suicidal Tendencies. Come on, man, this is a great lineup. I don't know what people, Drain Gang, Roy Scott, Josh Baker. Yeah, I don't know what people were saying. Honestly, the hate online was so weird. I did not get the hate of this lineup. This is, if anything, this is a way more balanced lineup, and I feel like it taps in again to LA culture or the scene in general. I think a lot of people from on the West Coast, in America in general, will be so happy to see some of these acts. I think the headliners already are worth the money. To see Sabrina Carpenter, Justin Bieber, and Karol G performing is worth the money. You're definitely going to see them perform. I think they all put on enough of a good live performance to see them perform. They're probably going to bring guests as well to perform with them. It's going to be a banger, man. It's going to be a banger. I'll probably be watching it on live stream anyway, but it's going to be a fucking banger. I'm not sure people were so negative about it. I really didn't understand negativity around it, because that lineup looks fucking sick. Looks fucking sick. So big up Coachella. And then the other one was Primavera Sound. Now this is looking tasty. Primavera Sound is looking very tasty. This is the lineup so far. I'm sure they're gonna add way more people. I think Lola Young is out because I think she collapsed in it. I saw her collapsing someplace, and she's taking a break to kind of recharge her batteries. Hope she gets well soon. But I think she's out. But so far, headliners, you got The Cure, Doja Cat, XX, Gorillaz, Massive Attack, Addison Rae, My Bloody Valentine, Pink Panthers, Skrillex, and Peggy Gou. That's pretty sick. Is that maybe the first time they've had a DJ headlining Primavera? They always have a DJ anyway, but I wonder if that's the first time. This is what the 3rd to the 7th of June 2026. What else they got here? You got Mac DeMarco. Oh, by the way, what do they have the Olympic? Is the Olympics taking place in Barcelona next year? Why do they have those rings on the poster? Let me see this. Is there Olympics in Barcelona next year? Olympics Barcelona. I don't think so. Something's happening. I don't know why they got the rings on the poster there. Olympics Barcelona. Is anything going on there, or am I bugging out? 992. Okay, no, I don't see nothing on my thing. I wonder what those rings are. Maybe it's not to do Olympics, but there are these rings on the poster, like pink, green, orange, lighter green, and a blue. Anyway, other artists, you got Mac DeMarco, Bad Gal. Again, she's gonna kill it. She's big over there. Little Sims, Big Thief, Ethel Kane, Dijon, Kneecap, Role Model, Wet Leg, Marina, Jade, Two Hollis. Oh, that's gonna be sick. Amari, Ashniko, Berlioz, Blood Orange, Father John Misty, Kiki, Knocked Loose, Menai Tross, Okulu, who I'm not the biggest fan of. Okay, Lou, she's a bit boring for me, but yeah, she's there. Kelly, Slow Dive. Wow. Yosuke Yukimatsu again. Barry B, Ben UFO, Cara Delevingne. What the fuck is Cara Delevingne gonna do? Does she sing? Cara Delevingne's on there. What the model or the socialite? What the fuck is she doing there? Echo, big up Echo, Fakemink. I wonder if they're gonna be cool, because I think he's the one that outed, isn't it? Fakemink kind of inadvertently outed Echo. How can I be homophobic? I'm friends with Echo. It's like, I don't think he's come out yet, but anyway. Who else is there that I like? Texas The Reason, 6X, Touche Amore, Underground Resistance, Water Your Eyes, a guy called Gerald Live is playing there. Anastasia is playing there. Cool Super, Femtinil. Who else do I like on here? Jazz I like on there. I like Malibu. I like DJ Marcel. I like DJ Nobu. That's good to see on there. Who else you got? You got Powder. I'm like as well. Shlomo I like. Sophia I like. Skull Crusher I like. And that's about it for the most part. Oh no, SPF DJ and people like that. Oof. there's Carl Cox as well as there, who, you know, fuck that, and Blondish and Joseph Capriati. We'll miss those completely. Miss all three of those completely. You can throw all of them in the bin. But the rest of them, I'm a big fan. I think that, yeah, that whole last line, throw them all in the bin. But I think everybody else here is sick. Again, really cool lineup for Primavera as well. Very good, like one for the heads as well. Not super hyped, but one for the heads. I think, of course, we know Doja Cat's gonna kill it at Primavera. She's gonna go fucking crazy. The XX, Gorillaz, The Cure, yeah, great lineup, man. All good, really good festivals coming up as well. Really good stuff coming up. Really good stuff coming up. Really good stuff coming up. Keep your eyes peeled. Keep your eyes peeled. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna love you and leave you. England are playing, so I thought, you know what, let me just quickly check out what they're gonna be doing. Although I'm not really that interested, you know, why the fuck not? Let's check out England v Wales. Oh shit, it's already 3-0. Okay, well, I don't need to watch it, I guess, but hey, let me watch it anyway. Big everybody watching, I appreciate all of you. Smash the like, hit subscribe if you're watching this live. If you're watching this via the podcast app, you're going to hear my tune of the day playing underneath my voice. For those of you watching live, you will hear my tune of the day playing underneath my voice. The tune of the day will be by Sorry. The track is called Today Might Be the Hit. Just dropped today by Sorry. Today Might Be the Hit is a tune playing by voice. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see the rest of you guys later for a random show. For now, peace.